Hello, welcome to the book report. I got a small, fun book, although has a lot of serious information in it. um, Blueprint for Revolution by, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Srdja Popovic, I think. Um, anyway, he was a member of the I think they called it the Velvet Revolution. Op Otpor, I think, was the local name for the revolution in Serbia that overthrew Slobodan Milosevic, um, a pretty brutal dictator. And then he's gone on to run or at least lead a group called Canvas. I forget what it stands for, that has helped other revolutionaries all over the world. Non-violent, they're definitely non-violent specific. The subtitle here is How to Use Rice Pudding, Lego Men, and Other Non-Violent Techniques to Galvanize Communities, Overthrow Dictators, or Simply Change the World. So, a lot of this is just it's just really interesting to see a revolutionary's somebody who's been part of a successful regime change and and he stresses this, just toppling the dictator isn't enough. You have to be planning far ahead. Your goose egg, as he calls it, your main goal can't be just to topple the dictator. It has to be to create democracy or something along those lines. So you have to follow through and actually build the institutions that are going to improve your society long term. Anyway, a lot of what made this enjoyable were just the different stories from around the world of people, fighting oppression, working to make their parts of the world better, and doing it in a fun, interesting way. So, in fact, that leads right into my first quote. So today's nonviolent activists are launching a global shift in protest tactics away from anger, resentment, and rage, and towards a more powerful form of activism rooted in fun. And surprisingly, all of this works even better the harder dictators crack down on it. So anyway, I really enjoyed his approach, all of that, and emphasizing that it needs to be hip, fun, enjoyable, right? It shouldn't be all dour. In fact, that's one of his main points of the power of nonviolent revolutions and change, is that everybody can participate, right? A violent revolution, you basically have to be a young man or maybe a more aggressive young female to really participate. Although plenty of women have physically fought. Let's put it this way: you have to be in physically good shape, regardless of gender. You have to be in pretty good shape to fight a violent revolution. But a nonviolent revolution or movement, anyone can participate in. Grandma, grandpa, someone who doesn't want to, shoot people. Anyone can participate. So your fighting force is multiple times larger, potentially. Another piece he touches on is branding, and I really found this insightful. So I always wondered what might have happened if Occupy, he's talking about Occupy Wall Street. I always wondered what might have happened if Occupy had ditched that name of theirs, which implied that the only way you could belong was if you dropped everything you were doing and started occupying something, and instead branded itself with the brilliant name, quote, the 99%, close quote. If someone asked me, Starja, I'm sorry, I'm butchering your name, sorry if you ever hear this, do you feel like part of the 99%? I might answer, quote, well, my wife and I live in a 500 square foot apartment and drive a car that's almost a decade old, so yes, I guess I definitely feel like the 99%, close quote. I'd probably even wear a pen that said that. Why not? But if they asked me, do you feel like occupying Zuccotti Park? I'd be less likely to sign up. With just a simple name change, the Occupy movement could have shown themselves welcoming to so many people. The urban, the rural, the conservative, the liberal, the short, the tall, the drivers, the pedestrians. I would have loved to see that happen, and me too. Yeah, it's. I even went to an Occupy meeting when all that was going down, and I almost went to a second meeting and tried to change the tone, but they were so self-righteous and so into correct process and so serious, and it was just like, they could have used a heavy dose of this. Make it fun, make it inclusive. Another metaphor I really liked was, he says, draw the line, right? When you're creating a movement or coming up with a campaign as part of your movement, part of what you're doing is drawing a line. And so you want the smallest number of people to be on one side, the side you're working against, and the highest number of people on your side of the line. And so Occupy basically eliminates anybody with a job. Right? I mean, it's like, I can't go down there. Anyway, even the name was exclusionary, right? It shouldn't have been the Occupy movement. It should have been the 99% movement, or maybe even the 100% movement, right? I mean, not all rich people. Depends how you define rich. Not all of the 1% are bad. Obviously, I mean, a lot of good super rich folks out there doing good work. So, anyway. Branding, yes, and and I really liked this quote too. This was earlier in the book. Proper revolutions are not cataclysmic explosions; they are long, controlled burns. I really, really like that. I mean, and his main point when he wrote that, he was talking about how you see the Big Bang and you think, oh, it just happened spontaneously, but no, years and years of planning and organization and effort went in to get to that point, and then years of organizing and planning happened after that point to really follow through and create lasting change, right? So anyway, I really like that. Long, controlled burns. Right, that's what you're going for with nonviolent stuff. So, unity. Oh yeah, drawing the line. Let's read that quote. So 171. Oh yeah. I already did. Okay. And then and they also reference another great book, Why Civil Resistance Works: The Strategic Logic of Nonviolent Conflict, by Erica Chenoweth and Maria J. Stephan. A lot of empirical evidence. They looked at every conflict they could find between 1900 and 2006, 323 in total, analyzed them carefully, and found that you're more than twice as likely to succeed. I mean, I think more like 4 times as likely to succeed with nonviolent tactics than with violent tactics. I love empirical evidence, and he has a lot of empirical evidence in here. Also, a lot of good stuff on strategy, and the real importance in differentiating between your goals, right? Your policy, basically, your strategy, and your tactics, right? All 3 of them are important, but a lot of people get them confused, and you really need to keep them separate. And often different people are good at different things. That's another thing I really like about what he says is, you want to build a successful movement, you need to actively encourage all different kinds of people to participate, because nobody brings everything to the table. So you need, you need some people that are artistic and creative. You need other people that are very strategic thinking for short term. Um, I'm sorry, for longer term thinking. Other people that are very tactically minded for short term. What are we going to do right this second? So anyway, a lot of useful information in there, and then at the end of the book, he brings in like the suburban housewife character, fictional, and talks about just empowering yourself regardless of the situation, because he understands most people don't live in these more drastic environments, fortunately, but it doesn't mean there aren't problems in your community that need that shouldn't be solved or made better, right? And so speak up, get active, talk to your neighbors, and make your little corner of the world better too. You don't have to be the victim of a brutal dictator to make life better for you and your community. So I really liked him bringing that in at the end for people who don't live in more extreme situations. So anyway, fun little book. Definitely worth a read. I enjoyed it very much. And happy reading.